Did you see that lady who filled the whole tub with milk and cereal and just would swim in it?
Oh, you're giving Travis ideas.
That's like almost like Scrooge McDuck in it.
Welcome back to the Shaken Not Scared podcast. Here with you as always, your hosts Erick and Vivi. Today we're going to be talking about the 2019 film Pilgrim, directed by Marcus Dunstan. But before we get into that, how are you, Vivi?
I'm good. I'm just slightly hungover, I think. But I'm also excited because we have guests.
Woo!
We are joined by our friends over at the What's Your Least Favorite Scary Movie podcast. If you guys want to introduce yourselves.
Hi, my name's Jessie.
Hi, I'm Travis.
We are in the middle of our Thanksgiving month. Actually, we just covered Freddy vs. Jason. We've been going over each movie like one a month for the past year or so, and we finally got to Freddy vs. Jason.
Yeah, big crossover event.
Big crossover event. And then we're doing our Thanksgiving episode next week on Blood Rage, which we've been talking about for most of the year. So we're really excited to actually have a full episode dedicated to it.
Yeah, I love your guys' artwork too per episode. I think it's really cool. Who comes up with the ideas?
That's all me. Sometimes I pull a lot of that stuff out of my ass, and sometimes I actually like pre-plan a lot of it.
I can't wait to see the one for Blood Rage. It's going to be an interesting
I'm
one.
excited for that one.
Just like cans and cans of cranberry sauce.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm good. We had Friendsgiving yesterday. We don't have that many friends, but the ones that we do have, they like to party.
Pretty hard. Yeah.
But I also noticed that Clubhouse is available for Android users. I might be late to the party. I sound like an old man, but Clubhouse for the longest time was only available for Apple users.
What is Clubhouse? I'll be the really old one here.
I noticed that other pods were doing watch-alongs where you could just join in and then just talk. So people would say, oh, hey, at 6 o'clock on Monday, we're going to watch this movie. So then everyone would join in, watch it through their own TV, but discuss. Yeah.
That sounds cool.
I want to see if we could join some. I joined one on accident the other day when Nightmare Fierce was on Girl That's Scary's pod Clubhouse, and they were watching Bones.
Is that the Snoop Dogg one?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was thinking Bones with David Bananarama.
Yeah, I thought
Yeah.
the show too. Vivi was looking it up, I couldn't find it, but stay tuned for that. I'll probably put some out there for us and then join a bunch of others. Maybe us and Least here will
We'll
do some.
jump on one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
That
sounds
sounds
awesome.
fun. Yeah.
Just pick a horrible movie.
Oh, that's our specialty.
Oh yeah,
So-
we watched. Oh, we'll talk about that during creepy content. Never
Oh,
mind.
okay. It's a good segue into what's your guys' creepy content.
Well, we watched ThanksKilling last night and talking about bad horror movies. Oh my god.
I
Have you guys
love
ever
it
watched that?
so much.
No,
No.
it was one of the options for this month, but we didn't end up doing
Getting
it.
to it, yeah.
Dude, you guys gotta watch it. I don't know if you guys like intentionally bad horror movies or not, but it tries to be bad and it tries to be funny in doing so, and it actually succeeds, which I feel like is kind of rare.
It's amazing.
Is that the one where the turkey's getting choked?
Yeah, the turkey
Okay.
does a lot of stuff.
But yeah, the turkey does a lot of things. I mean, there's bad mustaches, there's bad disguises, there's a couple instances of bestiality.
Oh, great.
Yeah, there's a montage. There's a homoerotic montage.
This sounds wild.
Yeah, it's a good time. It's not a super long movie either. I'm always like, wow, it's over already.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes those super bad intentional movies are a hit or miss.
Yeah, we watched Evil Bong. That is bad, but not in the good bad category.
Are they trying to be like good bad or
I don't know, because there's like 10 sequels, so I imagine they knew what they were doing at
God.
some point, you know?
Yeah.
Jesus? I didn't realize there was that many.
It's by Full Moon Productions,
Yes.
which we were brought to light on. I didn't even realize that they were an entire Marvel Extended Universe, but
Yeah.
for horror.
They have like a extended universe type thing where like it's crossovers and stuff like that.
Yeah, Ginger Dead Man versus Evil Bong is one of those.
Dude, that's the one that's
Oh.
voiced by Gary Busey, I think. The Ginger Dead Man.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Crazy.
What do you got, Vivi?
The only thing I've really been watching, it just started it, so I think I'm kind of late to the party, is What We Do in the Shadows. I made you watch it with me, and I love it. It's not super creepy, but it's about vampires.
Is that the comedy one?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, that movie's awesome.
Yeah, we've seen the movie. We haven't seen the show.
Yeah.
Oh man, there's a specific episode where it kind of brings that all back together because those characters from the movie aren't
The main
characters,
cast.
but they do
Make appearances.
make a cameo. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think my favorite thing about that show is how they made that one guy a social vampire, so he just like sucks all the social energy. out
Oh,
of everything.
yeah.
That's so great. I love that.
There's the emotional vampire too.
Oh yeah, I
Have you
saw
seen
that one too. Yeah, it's so awesome. We do need to watch that.
Yeah, we do.
But that's pretty much all I had. What about you?
We had to watch a couple of movies, and we watched Home Sweet Home and Home Movie. Home Sweet Home is that one where there's a escaped lunatic from a asylum. He goes around just killing people. I think that movie has weird pacing because it's like either the guy is insane or not. In the beginning, he runs a old lady over, but then sneaks around this house for like the last 40 minutes of the movie. You know, pick a lane on how crazy you are.
He went too hard too fast, and he was like, I need to tone it down.
Yeah. I'm at a 10. I need to bring it down to a 2.
And then Home Movie was about kids going crazy at home. The parents are a psychologist and a priest and don't realize that their kids are insane. It made me not want kids, so there's that.
One of those movies.
That's all I have for creepy content. Is there anything that you guys feel good about enough to bring up for comfort content?
I'm on the last season of my Buffy rewatch right now. I always love Buffy, but I'm watching Angel for the first time, and I'm on season 4, and I do not feel comforted by season 4 of Angel.
Is that the one where they say he's like a super crazy stalker?
In his own show?
Yeah.
No, I think they say that when he was on the Buffy actual series.
I mean, he was a stalker on Buffy.
I mean, he was. I've always avoided Angel because I was just like, no, it's not Buffy. It's not Buffy's storyline. I know they like occasionally make cameos on the show, but
well, I always avoided it because I just don't care much for the character of Angel, and I'm trying to avoid spoilers because Travis is watching through it for the first time. He's only up to season 2. I hate Angel on Buffy, but I like him on his own show. My friend convinced me to watch it through this time because she just needs somebody to talk to Angel about, I think.
Are you going to be tweeting about it too? Because I think you do that for Buffy, right?
Yeah, I forget to do it sometimes because I watch it in the morning while I'm getting ready for work, and then like I usually send out a tweet real quick when I get to work before I head inside, but I've been cutting it really close to clock in time lately. I'll have to like do 3 or 4 at a time because I'm like, oh man, I haven't caught up in a long time.
I'm looking forward to the Angel ones, even though I don't like Angel. What about you?
I don't know if this is comfort because it's kind of gross, but we've been watching Big Mouth, the latest season.
Did you guys watch that?
No, we haven't. I feel like that would be like a good one for us to watch though.
Probably would be.
It's insane.
You don't know whether to feel uncomfortable or find it funny because the show's about like kids and growing up, and like there's themes about puberty, and they show kids naked, but it's like, is it weird because they're animated?
It is weird. I think they even make fun of it in their own show. They're kind of meta.
So, are you ready to have some good old-fashioned gratitude?
Good old-fashioned gratitude. Yeah, we're getting into liquid comfort now. So for this one, I actually wanted to make like a very jammy, thick drink, but I feel like we've done quite a few of those in the past. So I kind of steered away from that. I noticed that the father character drinks an old fashioned for dinner, like every scene. And just to add kind of like the berries, because they are very important and come into play later, I decided to go with a cranberry old fashioned. It has cranberry juice, orange bitters to make it like a fall festive type drink, bourbon or whiskey of your choice, and lemon. If you like sweeter drinks, you can add simple syrup. I think the cranberry juice is sweet enough, so if you guys want to give it a try.
It looks cool.
It's very red.
This tastes way better than what we tried last night.
We had the list of ingredients and we're like, we're just gonna throw stuff together, and it was not good.
Yeah, I did ask Vivi last night, like, did you send them the instructions? She's like, ooh, gotta do that.
I did it very last minute.
Funny story about this. I'm an idiot. And when you guys are like, what ingredients should we stay away from? No, you're vegan. And I was like, oh yeah, basically as long as there's like no jello or something, like it's gonna mostly be us looking at brands. And I didn't think anything else of it, except for the fact that Travis and I both have food allergies that are super common in the fall.
Yeah, we do, don't we?
And so you sent the list and I was like, oh my God, I hope it doesn't have pumpkin or cinnamon in it, because
Oh no.
we're gonna have to like rethink everything. So
Shit, yeah, I was worried about that. That's why I sent it out. I was asking Vivi, like, do you think this is mean to ask, what are you allergic to? I was like, no, it's probably better to be more conscious than just be like, do it or else.
yeah, no, I just completely forgot that allergies are a big thing for us. Like I said, when it comes to drinks in the fall, because I get pumpkin beers for myself and Travis can't have them. I will eat cinnamon. I'm like those people that are lactose intolerant that still eat dairy. So I'll just get to the point where like my mouth starts itching and then people like like take gingerbread cookies away from me so that way I
man.
stop.
That's hardcore.
For real, you're a danger to yourself. Jeez.
Well, I was talking about it with my mom because she visited last weekend, and I was like, I just don't ever put that I'm allergic to it because my worst fear is I'll be admitted to the hospital and they like will have a really good food in the menu and I can't get it because it's got cinnamon, which I guess is a pretty lame fear, but
Priorities.
Cinnamon, I feel like, is probably one of the least difficult, though, right? Because when I hear people are allergic to peanuts and peanut butter, I'm like, oh my God, what?
yeah,
What?
well, some people are like, you can't even say the word peanut around them or their throat will close up. So
Dude, they would hate living here.
oh yeah,
We got
yeah.
like a Jif factory downtown here,
Oh,
and like,
jeez.
yeah, if you drive downtown, like you're inhaling peanuts basically all
Oh my
day.
God.
It
Yeah.
smells
crap.
amazing though.
For cinnamon, then you can't have a lot of the cool drinks from Starbucks.
Like I said, I do it anyway. I just like plan my day around feeling like garbage afterwards. It'll break out my mouth and like really destroy my stomach. So it's nothing life threatening at this point. My
Only
theory
that.
is if it gets worse over time, at least I've enjoyed it while I can.
That's true.
It's not like a dog eating chocolate.
I just like that it sounds like she's building a resistance to it.
At what point does she stop? Is this like
Till she's no
her
longer
stomach's, like,
allergic.
outside of her body?
Yeah, like sheer force of will.
I have to
Get
slap
rid
the
of
cinnamon out of your
get rid of the
hand.
allergy.
In the hospital bed, just inhaling cinnamon.
I'm gonna be like that cinnamon challenge that went around years ago.
But what would you guys rate this drink that you're not allergic to? Thank God.
Yeah.
I'd give this like a 4.5.
Yeah, I was gonna say a 4. I like this a lot.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah, we don't really do a lot of fancy drinks very often. We just kind of take like bourbon or rum and just kind of mix it with Coke. And
Yeah.
that's pretty much it.
Fancy.
Yeah.
I like this way more than I thought I would. The flavors actually go pretty well together, cranberry and orange. So I'm also going to give it a 4.
I'm going to give it a 3.5 because it's on the sweeter side. That's just me.
You suck.
But
You always
3.5
do
is still
this.
good for a sweet drink.
It's an old fashioned. You love old fashioned.
Yeah, it's just the cranberry for me. I actually don't even like cranberries like that.
Are
Yeah.
you allergic?
No, I just hate it.
So did the people in this movie.
Oh, yeah. Well, then try the old fashioned gratitude. Let us know what you think, and you better thank us for it.
Yeah.
For fun facts, it was actually pretty difficult to find stuff. I kept just finding like actual Thanksgiving history. It's to the point where I realized that the movie says based on a true story, and I started to think like maybe that's a metaphor for it being based on the first Thanksgiving, and that's what they mean. It's not actually based on a true story, but it is. So the based on a true story is in reference to an experience writer Noah Feinberg, who worked on this film, had growing up. So his mother was the PTA president at school and put together a Thanksgiving festival. They had Pilgrim reenactors that were hired to put on a play at the school, and his mother asked the main actor to stay at their place, which rude. Why not the rest of them? Just the main actor. That's suspicious. So the main actor stayed at their place for a few days, but Noah recalls the actor never breaking character and thinking it would only last like the first day until he woke up the next morning and the days afterward, and the guy was still in character talking about his stories on the Mayflower and a bunch of other things, like if he was actually a pilgrim. He would wear the clothes every day. But
Jesus Christ.
That's legitimately terrifying.
Yeah.
so the final image in the credits, if you guys paid attention, there's a kid with a pilgrim, and that's an actual image of Noah as a kid with that guy who stayed over.
Whoa.
Oh shit.
Ugh.
Yeah, I know. And he doesn't explain how this ended. Like, he's like, yeah, obviously it didn't like end with them killing my family.
He married
But-
my mom, and now he's my
Yeah.
stepdad.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking the mom was like really into it. She's like, stay in character.
Ew.
Right.
Not trying to kink shame anyone, but ew. Like, but seriously, role playing as a Puritan, that's not
That is the
I don't
that's
know,
not
dude.
any fun.
What if they're like super religious or something? That's like super hot for somebody that's super religious.
So the only thing I have after that was that the scene where Rain Edwards, who plays Cody, is dunked into the water was shot in one take.
Wow.
They built that wooden mechanism. I think the director was in an interview talking about how they had just so many people working to make sure that it was safe because she's
It's
basically
intense.
getting waterboarded.
And if this is like her first acting role, like big acting role, and she has to do that, it's
Yeah.
insane.
At every new tryout, she's gonna be like, well, I got waterboarded for an entire night.
So
and-
whatever you throw at me, I'm good.
Yeah, that's all I got. I just still want to know what happened to Noah Feinberg after that Pilgrim stayed over. Did he just leave?
I mean, I hope so. That is fun though. That's incredibly traumatizing. Clearly, he wrote a movie about it, so he's not doing well.
Yeah. Additional fun fact, apparently he wasn't even pitching this as a movie. He was just telling the story to somebody over at Blumhouse, and people overheard it and said, yo, when are you submitting that horror story? And he was like, oh shit, okay, I guess I'll do that now.
I guess my life's a horror movie.
Yeah,
okay.
right. That's when you have that realization.
I like to imagine Jason Blum just being like, hey, would you like to channel your childhood trauma into something that makes me money?
Yeah. Right, I don't care what happened, even if he did kill your family. family. Now that we're done with fun facts, are you ready for the speed run, Jess?
Oh God. Okay. Yes.
I
I am
believe
a
in you.
wordy motherfucker.
There's not a lot of
So-
plot to this.
I know. Okay.
Ready? 1, 2, 3, go.
So there's this girl, Cody, and her mom and dad are fighting on Thanksgiving, and her mom just leaves them both. And then years later, her dad's remarried, and she's got a half brother, and she hates her stepmom, and her stepmom knows that she hates her, so she hires some Pilgrim LARPers to come live with them for a week and teach them how to be grateful. And she also hires her boyfriend's mom, a Pilgrim LARPer, because she's like dealing with addiction issues and is not very well taking care of herself, except the Pilgrim LARPer that goes with her kills her because she's not grateful enough, and then she also kills the boyfriend because who cares about him? And then there's more and more pilgrims just consistently. They like multiply like crazy, and they're building sheds and gonna fix a garage, and the dad's okay with all of it until they start killing because they're not grateful enough. And he says you have to take everything away so that way you can be grateful for what you had, except for Tate because he's a pure little baby boy. And then the dad dies and they have to eat him, but it's a trick because the berries are Jerusalem cherries and they're poisonous. So all the pilgrims
It's
start.
over.
Damn it!
You were doing so good. I thought you were gonna make it.
Like Travis is making me nervous. He's like sitting here like giving me the keep going sign, and I'm like, oh, no.
I don't know if you guys are okay with this, but every time we lose, we take a shot. But it's
Oh,
okay
yeah.
if you don't want to.
No, I found vegan Jello finally, and so we made Jello. This is my first ever Jello shot in my life. So we brought a couple in here with us because we were worried that I might not make it.
Make it in time.
That's awesome. I'll join you. I didn't bring one. I'll go
Run.
get one real quick.
That is really good for vegan Jello.
Yeah, it's got beets in it, and beets are gross. You
Oh,
can't
dude,
even
really?
tell. Yeah.
I've never heard of beet jello.
I know. I didn't even know this is beet Jello. I don't know if I would have agreed
It's-
to this.
It's such a common thing with vegan stuff.
Are you gonna take your shot?
Yeah, I got. Did they already take it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
we
Oh, you did
not-
already? Oh,
yeah.
what? That's okay.
They were just too excited for their jello
Yeah.
shots.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Mine was tequila.
Oh.
Yeah, all good here. Clear the sinuses. You got the brief, what the internet says this movie's about?
Yep, it is pretty short. It is from IMDb. A woman invites Pilgrim reenactors to her family's Thanksgiving celebration in an effort to remind them of their privilege and help them bond with one another. That's it. It's pretty short. And I feel like they miss a big part.
If you just listen to that, it sounds like almost it could be like a Hallmark or Lifetime
right.
holiday movie.
Exactly.
Yeah, they don't bring up the
The murderous
dinner.
part.
If you guys are ready, I'm ready to dive into this because this movie is
This
great.
movie's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we open on a scene of Cody watching her parents have an argument over Thanksgiving. She's very young at this point, and her mother actually storms out, and this is the last time, we assume, because she's not mentioned again, that she ever sees her. We flash forward to many years later, and her dad has remarried, and she now has a little brother, but she does not get along with her stepmother, which I found super odd because it seems like so many years have passed, and you now have a little brother, and you still make her out to be like an evil stepmom.
Right, her life had to have been good, so maybe it's just she's an angsty teen. What I wanted to know more about was the mom. Did she die? They talk about her like she's completely disappeared off the planet.
Why didn't she take Cody with her? Yeah, it's like so many questions.
Yeah, I think she's probably got like a ton of abandonment issues from that because it's one thing for your parents to like not be a good couple, but it's another for one parent to just peace out forever. My headcanon is that she left and she got into an accident as she left the house, which is very tragic, but at least doesn't leave her with unresolved abandonment issues, you know?
If we're speaking about headcanon, my headcanon is that she sent the
Pilgrims.
Oh.
Damn, she really hated her kid.
Well, I thought it was gonna full circle. Cody keeps flashbacking to this event, and it never really has like a payoff. Like she keeps flashing back, but what does that mean?
It's supposed to like drive in that she has unresolved issues about this holiday in general, but I think you could still be suspicious of these creeps coming into your house without the trauma.
Yeah, I like Thanksgiving. That's probably the least traumatic holiday in, you know, my history, which was Travis just gave me a look. And like I would be creeped out by this. So
You're trying to give a fucked up background for this character too. You're just trying to make it shitty now.
honestly, I feel like I mercy killed her mom in my head.
Car
instead of-
accident?
Yeah. Like that seems better than like her mom just being like, well, I don't love your dad anymore and therefore I no longer love you. That'll mess with a kid.
I also no longer like being alive, so I left and got in the car.
Just don't like any of it.
Because the type of car crash could also just make it more tragic. It could be a car crash like in The Descent.
The Descent, yeah.
Oh, God,
yeah,
that's-
dude, that one fucks you
yeah.
up. It's like so sudden too.
I think my favorite car accident kill though is still Halloween 2.
Oh,
Where that
Ben
poor
Tramer?
kid, where that
Yes,
poor kid
with
just
his gasoline for blood.
spontaneously combusts.
Gasoline for blood, yeah. That dude was wasted, man.
But on that note, Cody's mom didn't blow up, I think. Anna is talking about the Harvest Fest at dinner. She's trying to make things nice for the family and says, maybe this is what we need so that we can start to talk to each other. The dad is really involved in his phone. He's watching foreign markets. The son has been talking about working on those hand turkeys you do as a kid in class. Tate and Cody have this sort of like language where they play hide and seek. Cody does one knock and I think Tate does two.
They're so cute. I love their relationship. You can tell she's very protective of him. Okay, how old did you all interpret this kid to be?
Oh yeah.
I thought he was at least like 12, but they say he's
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We have started referring to this as the new nightmare phenomenon because the kid in that movie, the actor was 8, but the kid was acting like he was like 4. He's in Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I don't know if you all have watched the show, but he is Boyle's adopted son, Nicolaj. Yeah, and I immediately, as soon as his little face popped up, I was like, is that Nicolaj? But like, he seems like he's supposed to be 11 or 12, but then he's like struggling to read words. Either he's way, way, way too pure, in which case it makes sense that the Pilgrims spare him.
Anna says she's going to have this Harvest Fest and there are going to be reenactors who are going to stay over. She doesn't say at this point that they're going to stay over for days, but she does say they're going to visit. And Cody is real like against Anna. She's like, oh, so we're going to celebrate genocide of the American tribes. Like
She's got a point.
Yeah, she does.
Cody has a point the whole movie.
Anna, although is taking all this shit from Cody, she does fight back and says to the dad, well, she's skipping school. And the dad's like, I'm not wasting $65K a year for you to be skipping. Is Cody in college or high school?
I think she's in high school.
What the fuck kind of high school costs $65,000?
She keeps like referring like she's only got one more year before she can leave. So I think she's 17, about to go to like college.
I interpret it as her like a freshman living at home still.
Oh, could be. I don't know.
65K a year? No. Another reason not to have kids.
Listen, they're not going to private school.
They go to grab the wishbone. Tate and Cody go for both halves, and they explain that whoever gets the large piece gets their wish granted. In her head, Cody says, I hope this whole thing backfires. She gets the bigger piece. This becomes a whole thing. Be careful what you wish for. Before it starts the movie, it says, families are still important in America. Is your family thankful? There's like a lot of imagery about Thanksgiving and how it's played a role in the American home for decades.
The intro was like one of my favorite parts. I like that stock footage that they were using. It was just, I don't know, something about it. It was kind of unsettling.
It's very eerie. The voiceovers of like probably from like the 1950s talking about Thanksgiving, like old family values.
It gives me that vibe of Fallout. The world is going to be saved and it's perfect. Really, everything is destroyed and the atom bomb went off and killed everybody.
Giant scorpions everywhere.
Yeah, I just immediately don't trust anybody who refers to traditional values. I'm like, oh, you have multiple prejudices for sure. Can I just talk about the music that plays during the opening credits? I love this music so much. It's very zippy and interesting. It kind of makes me think of the like, did you guys watch the Fear Street trilogy on Netflix?
Yes.
Yes.
It makes me think of the music in part 3 when they're like back in the olden times.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck that.
Stop being such a spoil sport.
I don't like that part. No, that
I
sucked.
love that part. You just hate witches and pilgrims.
I do. No, I don't mind pilgrims.
Oh, so you're picking the white colonizers.
Travis, you like pilgrims? I don't know. This is the forum for that.
That's why he likes this movie so much. He's
corner.
rooting for this the whole time.
Yeah, the soundtrack for this is crazy, especially in that culminating scene at dinner
Oh yeah,
where it's
The-
like a super
the gospel music.
Oh my god, yeah, it's like be grateful. That's like all it's saying the entire time.
It's blaring the whole time. They also use specific sound effects whenever something happens, like this next scene where Anna's hosting an HOA meeting and she's talking to the mothers and they're two-faced,
Oh
like
my
a rattlesnake
God.
sound
Oh, yeah.
comes up, and like every time someone dramatically turns or appears, it's very emphasized in this
Yeah.
one.
I felt bad for Anna, but also I definitely like, not that I would ever be in a situation where I have to go to an HOA meeting, but like I definitely could see myself being in the kitchen being catty like
Shit
that.
talking.
Yeah, for sure.
While their daughter is in the room and you know they are, and you still don't stop.
To be fair, Cody is accidentally eavesdropping because she broke that pot. So
I would have like stood up if I were her, just to like make it more awkward.
I
Because
feel
would've
like
been
Cody
would
would have just
too.
joined in on the shit talking though.
Even that's a little unexplored. Cody seems to feel bad that they're talking shit about Anna, but also she just still hates Anna. So
They definitely have a complicated relationship, and I feel like it's kind of the main one we explore in the movie.
I like that though, because I feel like a lot of movies are just like, we're butting heads and we hate each other, and then we're gonna have this sudden change of heart at the end. But like, I like that it's nuanced and complicated right from the beginning.
the saving grace is when they murdered together.
Yeah.
Did we just murder as a family?
I
That was
love that
hilarious.
line. Yeah.
It's like my favorite line.
The family that slays together stays together.
Yeah.
It ain't Thanksgiving if you didn't kill together.
Said the Pilgrims.
Said the Pilgrims.
But while they're having this HOA meeting, the reenactors show up much earlier than expected. Anna was kind of only anticipating them to be there for Thanksgiving, but they show up, I'm guessing, like a week in advance. Timeline is a little fuzzy here.
Did you guys like how it goes into slow-mo and the music ramps up right as their buckles take the first step into the door?
It's like super dramatic. I love their entrance.
I love the actors who play Patience and Ethan.
They're so good at these
Yes.
characters.
The person that played Patience, she looks so familiar, but I can't figure out who she is.
She is a stone cold bitch in the best kind of way, like what you want from a villain.
Yeah.
I love her.
I love her too.
We
She's
made a
amazing.
drinking game out of this, and like one of the rules was like anytime Patience or Ethan is passive aggressive, and I swear every time Patience opened her mouth, we were drinking.
You're like, damn it.
Elise Levesque. Ready or Not.
Oh, she's in that?
Yes. And she was in Orphan
She
Black.
is the wife, right? Of the one's like super interested in keeping the money
Yeah.
of the family.
That's right. Yes. Oh,
Okay,
man,
I was like,
love
she
that
looks
movie.
so familiar. That's another
movie's
good one.
great.
Yeah. Unexpected too, because I saw the trailers for it and I'm like, this looks like it's gonna be bad, but I'm still gonna watch it. No, it was really good.
Yeah.
We also get introduced to Cody's boyfriend Finn and his mother Catherine, who Anna has like a weird passive aggressive relationship with as well. She's kind of making her out to be a charity case and saying, actually, one of these reenactors is for you. Like,
I would hate this. Like, bro, I don't want to get involved with whatever the hell this is. And they're staying over. I didn't ask for this.
I didn't ask for.
Take
Yeah,
it
if I
someone
was
else.
Catherine, I'd be like, why did you do this?
Catherine would have had a very valid point because Catherine does not last very long after Patience arrives at her house.
Ironically, she did not wait that long to kill her.
Oh!
Ethan is super creepy, but he is so good.
He kisses her hand for like a really long time.
And Cody's not having it when he tries to do it to her. Do people do that anymore? Kiss hands?
No, COVID happened.
Oh, yes.
My dog does.
Yes.
It felt like she was trying to pull my wedding ring off this morning. And I'm like, are you trying to break us up? She just like stared at Travis.
While Cody's being introduced with them, she's the only one that's speaking some common sense. She's like, they could stay at a hotel. Why do they have to stay here? And they're like, you're being rude. And in this sense, it reminded me of The Invitation. You're willing to be polite up until the point where it's way too late.
Yeah, I like how Cody calls him out later too. Whenever he's talking about the Mayflower and fishing for trout, she's like, "That's freshwater fish." Yeah.
It's hilarious.
Dude, I love Cody's clapbacks. The best one, I think, and you know, it's sad, but when she's just like, I'm gonna go to my friend blah blah blah's house.
Oh,
She's
they're hosting a Nazi.
Yeah.
I was like, I thought that was hilarious. And no.
I mean, is she wrong? Just because we have a Charlie Brown special about pilgrims doesn't mean that they aren't racist.
So Anna keeps trying to like tell everybody that they need this.
We're going to do this team building that doesn't seem at all related to what our core issues are as a team. And we're going to pretend that it's solving all of our problems.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand how she imagined this was going to fix. What they need is family therapy. That's what they
Absolutely.
need.
Not murderous pilgrims. I just kind of want to point out the red flags that kind of go on throughout the night. The first one being that Ethan is in Tate's room at
Yes.
night.
Oh.
On his, like,
I would have
laid
murdered him.
out on his bed.
Yeah, the way that he's laying on the bed is so creepy. He's just kind
Yeah.
of.
It bothers me, and it bothers me that this was like not more heavily addressed. Like, you can tell Cody is super uncomfortable. I wanted her to go up to Anna and just be like, "Hey, Ethan was in your son's bed. Are you still okay with
Are
him?"
you still comfortable? Yeah, because this
Yeah.
is not okay.
Instead of Cody going off on him, he comes out and tells her, like, you need to be more grateful because I'm here to help you.
I was waiting for her to start yelling the shit out of him. He's very good at manipulating, so he turns around and makes her feel uncomfortable about how her mom left on Thanksgiving.
So many signs that they're just choosing to ignore. You can say that the dad is probably ignoring it because he seems to
He
be
just
so
ignores
involved in
everything.
the
Yeah.
tablet. But Anna being like, yeah, this is about family and bringing us all together. Like, look, you have a child molester potentially sitting in your son's bed, and he's what, 40, 50 years old?
Several centuries old.
I thought you were talking about the kid for a second. He's like, what, 40 to 50?
Playing 8 years old. Ethan immediately starts building stuff outside in their backyard.
I'm not gonna lie. If somebody was like, I'm gonna build you a shed, I'd be like, okay, but you have to leave after. Like,
true.
being a homeowner, I kind of get Shane's position where he's like, yeah, this is weird, but they're gonna fix the garage. Like, I get it.
Did you guys get the vibe that maybe these people were out of time? Like, if they time traveled, I was like, where are they getting this wood from? Maybe they're not even reenactors. There's like people who just appeared here
They're very
because of
culty.
the wish. Later, Ethan is talking about picking Jerusalem berries, and they're like, where the hell did you get Jerusalem berries? I was like, where did they get the Jerusalem berries?
It's a good question.
Also, Ethan set himself up for his own demise because when they're like, don't eat the green ones because they're poisonous or whatever, I was like, well, why would you pick them?
Why would you put them next to the prepared
Yeah.
food?
Like, get rid of them immediately. Like, you don't.
But yeah, I just felt like the pilgrims maybe weren't even like real. They were just something that appeared because of the
Because
wish
of
that
her
Cody
wish.
made.
They all actually accidentally ate the Jerusalem cherries, and this is a giant family hallucination.
Tate is outside protecting a crow that was injured, minding his own damn business. Ethan shows up creepily with a bag of candy.
Like a straight up
Yeah.
pedophile.
Yeah.
And says, oh, wow, you're pure because you're trying to protect the crow. He's like, yeah, I'm trying to get the ants to stay away from it.
This kid is dumb.
Ethan says, let me bore you with this story about two birds. The crow loses its meat because it was greedy and wanted the food that the other bird had and comes back, finds no meat. Tate's like, oh, yeah, I get it. Can I get another candy, though? And Ethan's like, what would you say if I said no? And he's like, well, at least I have one piece. He looks up and he's like, see, I didn't have to punish this one. And Tate's looking up with him, like, all right, cool, dude, that's right. He tells Tate to run along, then still kills the crow and orgasms.
He makes the weirdest face.
So was the crow not grateful for something? Like, I don't get it. Like,
Okay. I'm gonna put it to you like this. It's the tale of the Scout and the Zoe, where they both have food in their bowls, but they want what the other one has.
Scout and Zoe are cats, by the way.
Yeah, now that you guys have one cat, if you ever get a second cat, just know that that's your life. Is them constantly thinking the other is getting better food, and
Oh my
they're
God.
suspicious of each other at all times.
Another red flag is that Ethan wants them to get rid of all their cell phones and technology. No, dude, you're a stranger in my house. I'm gonna keep my phone on me.
Ethan keeps saying, we are grateful. We came here with our families searching for a new life and are grateful for all the things we had. And Ethan's entire vibe is, if you don't appreciate it, you probably need to die. You don't know what it's like to have everything you love taken from you. Just be grateful for the things that you do have. And
Yeah, he's very heavy-handed with it, constantly mentions it, and it's weirdly alluded that he used to have a family but doesn't anymore, and I think he probably killed his family for not being grateful.
Yeah, he said he had like an abusive dad, so maybe he had to like retaliate or something. I like to think that his whole backstory is he had a traumatic event during Thanksgiving. And that's why he latched onto the whole pilgrim thing as a way to, like, I don't know, cope with it and try and force his beliefs upon other people.
Am I the only one that sees him as 100% a supernatural figure? Because I firmly believe he's an actual psychopathic pilgrim that just like time traveled to.
So you're buying into that theory
Yes,
now too?
yes.
Okay.
yeah.
They're
Like,
brought on by the wish.
Ah.
Mm.
She can't even find them online whenever she was looking for it with Finn. Cody
Yeah.
was, yeah.
See,
like, they don't even
I
exist.
feel
online.
like this movie would pair really well as like a holiday double feature with Krampus, because where the little kid, where the little kid wishes that like he just wants Christmas to be the way it used to be. Like,
so like murderous.
Yeah.
Like-
is that not what your Christmas was like growing
Oh
up?
yeah, I mean, I just.
Oh god.
so Finn keeps sneaking in, and this is another talking point that Ethan has against Cody.
He kind of blackmails her from saying anything by being like, oh, I've heard strange noises in your room late at night.
And he's the only one who's heard him.
Yeah, I would be like, why are you near my room?
I think the part that's more ironic about that, though, is their room is open.
I know, yeah. I was wondering why.
I really like her little kit in her drawer too that's in the hollowed out cross. There's
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
yeah. And when like Ethan later is like, oh, well, I figured you were religious. I saw the crucifix in your drawer. Eyebrow waggle.
I would be
He says
pissed.
that out. Eyebrow waggled.
But while Cody's kind of dealing with all the suspicious activity, Finn is also getting weirded out a little bit by Patience. More his mom than him. He kind of just comes in at the worst possible moment. Catherine starts talking to Patience about how she used to be a party girl and Finn doesn't really help her with anything.
Patience is like, he should be helping though. She says something that makes Patience triggered. Patience this whole time is helping her make like a tea that's supposed to help her get de-stressed. But she says, why would you hate this if you have all of this? Catherine's like, yeah, but you know, I could have like
A better
more.
house.
Yeah.
This pisses me off because it's the same kind of general argument that people make. Like, how can you be depressed when you have so much stuff in your life? And it's like, I don't know. Maybe my brain just doesn't make the right fucking chemicals. Like, what is it to you, Brenda? Like,
That's funny because one of our good friends who's been on the show is Brenda.
Yeah.
Oh.
He's gonna feel attacked.
We're leaving that in. That's hilarious.
Yeah, we are leaving that.
I know a really nice Brenda, and I was not thinking of her when I said it. I was just like, generic white lady name, Brenda, Jan, Karen, Margaret. Yeah.
I do always wonder what these people do though. So like with Shane having that foreign market thing, it makes me think he's like a stockbroker or something, has
Yeah,
money. But with
definitely.
Catherine being as sad as she is, she still has this big house. You think maybe
She's
she
still
got
in
the
this
house
HOA
from...
meeting with very rich people.
Yeah.
During like the transition shot to her house over there with Patience, they had like all kinds of shots of her having unpaid bills and
Yeah.
like all kinds of stuff. She's also kind of like a hoarder or something. She's definitely depressed.
Yeah, there was some sort of traumatic incident. I don't know what happened with Finn's father. Maybe he was in the same car accident that Cody's
Yeah, they
was.
escaped together.
Plot twist.
Oh, they were cheating on each other.
They
And
left
that's why
together.
Anna-
They blew up together.
and that's why Anna feels guilty and makes Catherine have a pilgrim too.
It's all coming together.
Yeah.
I wonder if like she got some sort of life insurance payout or whatever. I don't know. My headcanon is that everybody in this movie is dead.
She can't pay her bills. I don't think she got any kind of payout.
Well, if Finn's dad was in the same accident, that's, you know, so many years of bills paid and now it's like all dwindling.
I guess.
They did say that she like struggled with addiction. They implied that it was like alcohol and smoking.
Oh yeah. I remember the smoking being brought up.
Finn's character should have lasted longer.
Yeah, I feel like he didn't get a proper death. I liked him and Cody together. They were like a cute, believable young couple.
That were actually nice to each other because I feel like we don't see that. It's always like bad relationships. We find out that Patience has actually drugged the tea. She is very terrifying in this scene.
So her doing this blood butter churning thing.
That's a good horror movie named Blood Butter.
Butter,
Yeah.
it made me think of The Witch, where she's making the baby butter.
Yeah.
Oh yes. What if Patience just trying to live deliciously?
Until Catherine's body appeared later, I was like, oh, that's less menacing. I thought she
I-
was churning Catherine's body.
I thought she took like organs from her or something.
She definitely put like part of her in there. That's got to be something because
That's a lot
her
of
face is
blood.
all bloody. Yeah.
Or she's just doing a post-kill de-stress.
She is
Yeah.
strong. The way she's slamming it, she's like in a trance.
She doesn't get her dress bloody at all. I'm
Yes, she
really
does.
impressed at
Oh,
how
during
clean
this,
yeah, at how clean it stays. When she first walked in at the very beginning of the movie and Anna made the comment, oh, well, you're already in costume. She's like, well, I'm not going to wear my wash frock.
How embarrassing.
She is literally wearing the fanciest of the pilgrim lady clothes. At the end, when you see the other pilgrim ladies, like she's the only one that has lace. I think maybe she's not very pure. She is living deliciously. You're right.
I think she's
she
into
talked to
it,
Black
yeah.
Phillip.
I want to know more about what happened to Patience and how he converted her. If they really are reenactors, he seems to have taught them all a lesson. So did Patience join him because she's like, well, you killed my whole family, but I also wasn't grateful, so I'm gonna just join you. Probably better than getting killed by you.
And now they're like romantically involved.
It's like Stockholm syndrome or something.
Yeah, it's definitely like the cult leader manipulation type thing.
As Finn has found the body of his mother, he tries to run out the front door, and we only see what looks like another pilgrim coming up from behind him and catching him. That is the last we see of Finn. Cody's, again, being really weirded out by everything that's going on. Anna shows up with Patience Patience and basically tells her, hey, I'm sorry, but Finn and his mom have like left on a bender. We don't know what's going on. Cody does not believe this because she's like, Finn would have told me what's going on. This is one of the rare moments where we see Cody reach out to Anna like, hey, I'm uncomfortable with what's going on here. Anna kind of wants to help her, but the fear of not being polite or whatever, she tells Cody, just relax, it's not that serious. But it still bothers her, and this ultimately is what gets Anna in trouble with Patience.
Yeah, she figures it out too late. It isn't until Tate is missing and she's like, not cool with this, that she really realizes something's amiss. And then the rest of the pilgrims are like, jigs up, time to
be creepy as hell.
Time to get a little hatchety with it. There was one point during all of this, we watched with the subtitles on. I love bizarre subtitles, and normally Shudder delivers for that for me, but Hulu gave me one this time, and it was shucks corn loudly.
Where they're preparing.
Yeah, when the lady pilgrims are all in there getting the feast ready, it's right before Anna has realized that Tate is missing.
Patience is like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
To Anna.
Use her as a warning.
Can we talk about the hairstyling for a second? I do not know how pilgrims historically manage their hair, but Patience has a very straight part going diagonally, which feels very modern to me.
It's very millennial of her.
Yes. Also, Ethan's beard is very neatly trimmed, whereas the rest of these guys are straight up ZZ Top. Like, I am so confused. And then, like, some of the dudes have shaved heads. Shaved heads, like, bald makes sense because they could have had, like, you know, straight razor. Like, that makes enough sense. But, like, who is giving Ethan his nice, like, wavy layers? You know?
Maybe they, like, took in, like, a barber. You know, they, like, took in
I'm the barber.
Yeah, the barber. Yeah. That's true, because in The Witch, they make a big deal of the mom's name was Kate in that movie, right?
Catherine, yeah.
Yeah. She takes off her bonnet. It isn't until she takes it off you realize that she's unhinged.
It's very like Handmaid's Tale, because they have that too. Like the handmaids aren't allowed to like cut their hair or primp or anything. Like they have to wear the bonnets and stuff. And in the scenes where you see June take off her bonnet, like she's got really long hair, and that's one of the first things she does when she escapes.
Yeah, I think it's all to do with like modesty and how hair is viewed as sexual when it's hair.
Nothing sexier than hair like ankles.
To us now.
I mean, show me a good ankle. You know?
Did Patience have her sleeves rolled up when she was pressing the cranberries?
She did, yeah.
Yeah.
Too much skin.
Sinning.
Sinning.
Not the murder part, the showing her.
Yeah.
As Anna's snapping out of it and walking through the house looking for Tate, she realizes that there's more and more pilgrims. They're straight up messing up her home.
What this movie honestly made me think of, especially at the end when the pilgrims just start like multiplying. Have you guys seen Mother?
Yes.
Yes.
It makes me think of like that house party where she's just like so stressed out the whole time, and there's all these people she doesn't. It's not even a house party. It's like a funeral, right? It's a wake
it starts
or
out as
something.
a funeral or something.
Yeah, and there's just people all over the place, and they're just doing things. They're redecorating her home. They're breaking her furniture, and she's just like, "Who are you people? Why are you here?" And I got that same anxiety watching this. There's a trail of candy outside, which is ominous.
She goes to look for him in his room, can't find him. She goes to confront Shane, like, hey, this is really weird. She finally gets fed up and tells him to stop being on his tablet. He gets so mad. This is like the first emotion we see of him the whole freaking movie. She's like, something is up. We need to go find our kids. As soon as they leave that office, they run into Ethan, Patience, and a few of the other pilgrims. I just like the line that Ethan said here. He's like, what are you afraid of? It's just Thanksgiving.
A lot of things.
Said everyone getting ready to go to a large family Thanksgiving gathering.
Getting ready for those political discussions that no one wants to hear.
Table. Yeah.
Oh my god, I saw this great series of posts, and it was like Thanksgiving hosting tip, and one of them's like, I get people to help me prepare the meal by reminding them that I've seen every political article they've shared on social media over the past year, and arsenic is fairly tasteless.
While this is going on at home, Cody has actually snuck out to try and find Fen. She unfortunately walks in on a suspicious murder scene. She doesn't really see anything until she notices a bloody footprint. And while she's kind of inspecting it, this scene is actually kind of funny, even though they meant it to be scary. Fen just flops out of the closet, but they show it like three times.
Do a triple take.
Yeah.
I have a problem with this. This is a bad fake blood issue for me, but in a different way than normal, just because it doesn't make make any sense because if his throat was slit, there would already be so much blood elsewhere, everywhere. But all of a sudden, like the blood doesn't pour until his body falls over. And then it's like, oh, here's all of Finn's blood.
Yeah, it's not
how
very
that works.
realistic.
No.
It would be everywhere too, like in the house. It wouldn't just be one bloody footprint.
Unless like Patience and the other pilgrim just forced him into the closet and they're like, okay, sit still. We're going to cut your throat with a bucket underneath you so that way we don't make a mess.
It's not unlikely, right? Because later Ethan, when he's about to cut Anna, tells them to bring a bowl.
Oh,
to catch
true,
the blood.
yeah.
That is true.
Maybe that's what they're collecting and putting into that thing that Patience was mushing.
That makes sense. Yeah.
So it really is blood butter.
I mean, that's basically what they feed them.
Maybe that's why they're like supernatural. They like eat people's blood. And that's why they're
the
unfound.
cannibalism.
This is just a vampire Thanksgiving, is really what it is. It's pilgrims that were turned into vampires, but they love Thanksgiving. They can't actually get anything from eating turkey or whatever. It doesn't sustain them. So they're like, okay, we're going to murder a bunch of people and put the blood into the foods. That way we can enjoy Thanksgiving and not die.
Or it's like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, where they put a bowl under you and collect your brain blood because then you live forever. Like the grandpa.
Turning you into grandpa.
He's the best.
Vampire Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
That's
Let's get that as a movie.
We're going to describe this movie as.
Anna and Shane are in pillories. Ethan is repeating a lot of the things he's been saying this entire time. He's like, appreciation, gratitude, family. These are the ingredients chosen to make the perfect parents.
Thanksgiving. After Ethan's great speech, we get the torturing of Anna and Shane. Anna is actually branded with a B. I don't know what the B is for.
Bitch.
Yeah. That's what I was guessing. Because it's not like an A.
Ethan, again, every time he does something to punish somebody, he like basically orgasms. Like,
yeah, he's really
like,
into it.
As Anna's getting branded, he's looking up, he's like, I please thee, and is like super into just all of this.
Torturing people.
Yeah. He is hardcore into BDSM.
Yeah. Right, if he wanted the roleplay, he could have done that somewhere else. Like,
Maybe I take back what I said earlier about a pilgrim kink not being effective. Like,
it's really working for Ethan.
Yeah. And Patience is into it.
Oh, for sure.
Patience is her sub name.
Ooh. That's also the safe word.
No, it's grateful.
Later, when she takes the thing out of her head and she's like, I'm fine.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
They stare at each other real hard and
Real
give each other eye
intense.
contact because they're like, this is a reference
This
to
is what we
something.
wanted, actually.
It's like, shit, I can actually do this to you now?
Finally.
But so Cody finds her parents and she undoes the pillories. As she does that, the big guy, the builder, attacks them. You're thinking, this big guy, oh man, he's here. He's going to fuck them up, just like in every other movie. But the family goes super defense mode, like survival.
No hesitation.
And they beat the shit out of him. They throw that stone on the guy's head. And they're like, oh shit, wait, is he still alive? Because he's like gurgling. And they all pick a weapon. I love the spoon.
That scene, oh my god, it reminds me of Shaun of the Dead when they have like the
Cricket.
Cricket, yeah, the cricket bat. The wooden spoon only just reminded me of when I was a kid. We used to use a wooden spoon for pinatas all the time until I broke it.
So you would have broken this guy like a piñata.
Yeah. So they all go in on him, and that's when Shane's like, did we just commit murder as a family?
So there's this really messed up movie. I'm sure Travis is going to roll his eyes because I find a way to reference this movie way too often. But it's called Otis, and it's about this guy who like kidnaps girls and does unsavory things to them. But one of the families of one of the girls like decides they're going to get revenge on him, and they end up kidnapping the wrong person to get the revenge. But like the reason my family watched it is because we kept seeing commercials for it, and it was like the mom was like, what if we like cut off his fingers, put him in a blender, made a smoothie and made him drink it? And the son is like, Mom. So like it's a whole family event exacting this revenge, and that's like kind of the spirit of this scene where they're like, did we just commit murder as a family?
The family is like, we gotta hide the body, which I think is like such a weird thing to think about.
It's like, no, you could just go in there
and take your home back.
Yeah.
They're like, we gotta get the neighbors, and he's like, no, it's gonna take too long. We gotta go find Tate. Cody was gonna go get help, and Shane and Anna were gonna go in and sneak through the second floor to get Tate.
It's pretty funny because Cody's like, oh, it's really easy to sneak into the window of my room. They don't question it.
In that. We're gonna talk about that later.
I love how down Shane and Anna are, though. It's like a complete 360 from their personalities before, where they're completely absent as parents.
Shane's like, you got this, and she's like, fuck yeah, I got this. Like, I don't need you to tell me that.
It really brings them together, and so it's a really cool
scene.
scene.
So Ethan's whole thing actually works.
Listen, Travis, we all know that you're on the side of the pilgrims here.
Cody runs into more. Anna and Shane are running upstairs to the second floor. Anna has been captured. As Shane looks up, sees that she's been captured, puts his hand on the windowsill. Ethan stabs him in the hand,
Ugh.
basically Lion King's him, and is like, long live the king, and throws him down from the second floor.
I'm sorry, I was
Travis is picturing Rafiki with Simba.
I'm just like holding my arms over like this. Lion King's.
I like that version of it better. Like Ethan just like
holds him up like a baby.
Patience comes out with an axe again with her sleeves rolled up and just hatchets him
because she's a little harlot showing her elbows to everybody.
Before, like, Tate was told by Cody to go hide in his best hiding spot, and then I think it was like around this time or a little bit before, we find that his best hiding spot is like behind a chair in the corner. Nobody's found him this entire time. He's just been missing for half this movie now.
Listen, this was you this morning. So we play hide and seek with Talia. Travis was hiding this morning. And I come out into the living room. Talia's looking for him. He's beside the couch with her dog bed pulled up in front of him. And I was like, that's not subtle at all. You were clearly influenced by the movie.
It was obviously a good spot.
This kid is he's like a Labrador. You know what I mean? Like, he's a tiny little puppy. He's so pure but so stupid. And like this whole time he's just been hiding, and he's like, it's all good, until Cody finds him and she's like, listen, you need to hide better because you are gonna fucking die. He's like, I'm not okay with this.
It almost makes his reveal at the end that much more sad because he is so pure. He sees his dad's head on the table and all this murder. It's not good for Tate. Tate's gonna grow up to be Ethan when he grows up.
Possibly.
Oh my god. Pilgrim
that's the sequel
2.
they need.
Yes, sequel. I want that. Yeah.
Pilgrim 2. Cody and Anna get in a car wreck.
Explode.
Cody's getting waterboarded. This is Ethan's method to see if Cody can learn gratitude.
So this was like a really fucked up thing that actually happened during the Salem witch trials, because they would do this to suspected witches, and the whole thing was, if they survived, oh well, you're a witch, so we're gonna burn you at the stake, and if they died, they're like, oh well, I guess they weren't a witch. So it's literally a lose-lose.
Yeah.
Cody is like, you're right, I wasn't appreciative. They're being forced to help with the feast. They're supposed to shuck the corn and mash the berries. And the way Ethan says, get to shucking.
Oh, yes.
With
that
the
was
head
so
whip.
weird.
Like, I was expecting to see like spit fly from his mouth.
I know.
Yeah, a little bit of spit and butter in your corn. Tate appears in the background. Cody is the only one who sees him, but Ethan notices Cody's looking at something. And as he's about to go try to see what she's looking at, she says something that makes him turn around.
She really kind of is realizing that she was being a little bit of a shit. And she's like, I might not really like my stepmom, but I do appreciate what family she's given me. So she's having this moment.
He's like super into it.
Yeah.
He's like getting off on it.
And it's like, no, I don't have anything to apologize for. I've really tried to make this family thing work. And I don't think that she 100% was making the family thing work, but in her mind, she was doing everything she could. Like I said, I feel like they should have tried family therapy before hiring Pilgrim LARPers. But, you know, she was doing what she, in her like upper middle class white lady way, was the right thing to do.
By joining the local HOA.
Yeah. Exactly. She's like, I gave you an HOA. Like, what more would a child want?
When Anna refuses to participate and is about to cut her throat and collect the blood in a bucket, this is when Cody takes the chance. I don't know what exactly it is she picked up.
It looked like a knife sharpened thing.
She picks it up and jams it into the side of Patience's head. Patience has decent reflexes because she's able to put her hand up before she gets hit.
Are we
still,
supposed to assume that that's why she survived it? It didn't go all the way in?
But it looked really deep.
Yeah, it got in there.
I mean, God, this is why I never went into neuropsychology. I can't remember what parts of the brain. Maybe it was a non-vital part of the brain that got hit.
That's where they like would perform, lobotomies. So like, I mean, she wouldn't be like normal afterwards, but she could survive.
If she's already insane.
Exactly. Thank you. Yeah.
Patience pulls that out like nothing.
And she's like, I'm fine.
I'm fine.
I know. I love the way that she says that too. It's so great.
That's like when you stub your toe or something. Like, I'll do something like that and Charles will be like, are you okay? And I'm like, I'm fine. It's fine. I'm fine.
You're trying to convince yourself, not other people.
Yeah.
I tore my ACL on our honeymoon. Travis is like, we need to go to the ER. And I'm like, I'm fine. He's like, you
Nope,
can't walk. I'm
it's
like,
fine.
I'm fine. It's fine. And like, we get home and we drop Talia off. And he's like, all right, we're going to the ER. And I'm like, no, I'm fine. He's like, you can't even get up the stairs and I'm not going to carry you. We're going to the ER. And the whole time I'm just like, no, we don't need to. I'm fine. It's fine.
Turn to your leg and it's blue.
It was literally twice the size of my other leg.
Oh,
and I
geez.
was just like in denial the whole time.
It's all the adrenaline.
That's
probably
what keeps
helped
patients
yeah.
going.
So Ethan goes straight to patients, but Cody runs for it. Anna stays behind fighting people off because she grabs quickly the flower and throws it at a candle and
That was
creates
awesome.
this
That
explosion.
was a badass move I did not expect out of Anna.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cody finds Tate and Tate's like, what the hell did you wish for?
Which is weird that he would say that in this moment, right? It's literally just to bring the audience back to like remember Cody's wish.
How fucked up is it that he blames Cody for all of this? And it's like, hey, the pilgrims are the one that are killing everybody.
Yeah,
like,
I don't
why are
know.
you blaming this on
We
Cody?
kind of settled on maybe it was because of the wish that this all
I
happened.
know,
to
but
begin
there's
with.
no way Tate could have known that.
Exactly.
No.
So yeah, I asked for the exact opposite of this. I asked for no pilgrims.
But she tells him to find a better hiding spot as she gets captured again by the pilgrims and tied up at the dinner table with Anna. And we get the craziest scene that follows.
This is where the gospel music starts playing, right?
Starts
Yeah.
blaring. Ethan essentially forces them to eat Thanksgiving dinner, and the main course is Shane. Shane's head is served on a platter, and obviously they are freaking out. And it's when Anna screams that the music starts playing, I believe.
Ethan screams out, you mustn't spare the berries. And so, like, these pilgrims are all just shoving their mouths full of human flesh and berries. And
Yep.
it looks
Can't forget the berries.
completely barbaric, which goes against the Disney narrative.
Of the world.
One of the platters is also Shane's rib cage. You guys see that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
barbecue
ribs.
ribs.
And the pilgrims are force feeding Cody and Anna pieces of
That's
Shane,
fucked
which
up.
is so messed up.
Yeah.
Yeah, this movie goes from like comedic as hell to super fucked up, like a roller coaster.
It's still kind of comedic with the
music
gospel
going
music
on.
going.
Yeah.
The patients go look for Tate.
She goes to get more wine, I believe, and that's when she hears Tate running around hiding and goes to search for him.
This is when Cody is listening to Ethan continue his rambling about gratitude and
Is
whatnot.
this where she's like, trout are
Yes.
saltwater?
Trout are a freshwater fish,
Mhm.
idiot.
Yeah. He says, I can't win with you, can I? And she's like, get fucked. And that's when everyone starts to gag and cough up. You think berries.
It's blood vomit. They throwing up that blood butter.
Yeah.
Cody secretly put in the Jerusalem berries when she was shucking.
No,
That's-
Anna was shucking. What a risk. Because
Yeah.
what if they force fed them the berries too?
Yeah.
That is risky.
Yeah.
Ethan, after he realizes the Jerusalem berries were used, starts to stick his hand in his mouth and throw up. And he yells out to patients, and she's like, evacuate yourself.
Myself. It was so funny.
I'm gonna start telling you that.
Our cat Zoe meows really loudly when she's in her litter box, and I'm just gonna start shouting,
Oh.
"Evacuate this!" She's back there next time.
So Tate gets out and helps Cody. This was after Patience seems to have not made it, right? Because she passes out and like starts bleeding everywhere.
This bitch is like invincible.
Yeah.
She's hardcore. More hardcore than Jess with her cinnamon allergy.
Yeah.
I like that there's also shots of her blood just like pouring into the cabinet with him hiding in there too.
He's disgusted.
Yeah. I don't think this kid expected any of this. Like he was just playing hide and seek and all of a sudden there's just like blood all over the place.
Blood
and
and
people
guts
dying.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Think back at Noah Feinberg writing this about himself and his experience as a kid. I wonder if this is like what he felt like. He's like, I was just an innocent
Yeah.
kid and this
Probably.
strange man. Oh, what if it's an allegory for like some situation that happened with the pilgrim and his mom?
That's what I was
That's
saying.
what I'm thinking. Yeah, like I'm thinking like maybe like they ate some Jerusalem berries and that's how they actually left the house. They just died in there.
Tate finds them, and it's weird for Cody to still be like, don't look, but also untie us.
But also, get us out of here.
Cody approaches Ethan with a knife, and he throws himself out the window.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre style.
Yes.
Sally throwing herself out windows.
Yeah.
As she's kind of just not even chasing him down, she's just walking towards him menacingly. Tate frees his mom. Patient makes a return and starts full on catfighting with Anna.
This fight is amazing.
It is intense. And then it ends with like such a what the fuck moment because Anna has to end up using her husband's decapitated head to fight her off.
It's such a what the fuck moment, but I really love the like, this is where you're at in your fight for your life.
Yeah. Would you use my head in a fight?
I think you would want me to. It's the funny thing about this family. Their like survival skills are at a 10.
Yeah.
You would not expect that. They are like at the height of privilege.
Yeah, I know,
Like,
right? Yeah.
something latent there underneath.
Yeah.
Just all that suburban rage. Anna eventually getting the upper hand on Patience sticks what looks like the turkey cleaver straight through her throat. And that is finally the end of Patience. Literally stick a fork in her, she's done.
Or is it?
I know, because she's just gonna rip it out and come back again.
Okay, so we've got vampires and now we've got zombies in this movie, basically.
The final scene we get is Ethan crawling away from Cody, who has dropped the little knife that she had and has picked up, we're assuming, the hatchet that Patient used on her dad. Anna and Tate go out to join her.
Anna calls them my children,
Yeah.
which I just think is
Yeah.
really nice. Like, she doesn't even, like, it's not even a moment of thinking. She's like, this is for my house, this is for my husband, this is for my children. And I just think it's
Yes.
really nice.
And
Yeah.
again, illustrates like how complicated their relationship is. But Anna definitely sees Cody as her child.
As this is happening, Cody kicks Ethan into the fire, and he's just walking around with his arm on fire, and it's like still talking.
Dude, it's like the Ben Tramer thing again. Like he's just instantly flammable.
See, they didn't teach the pilgrims to stop, drop, and roll. They didn't know about that back in the
Yeah.
1600s.
I don't think that I'll ever find as much pain in someone's scream as I did when Ethan gets branded.
But he deserved it.
Yeah, he screams like this guy who plays Ethan. What's his name?
Yeah, I mean, he's so good at playing Ethan, though.
Mhm.
Peter Giles. Yeah, he definitely was a great Ethan for whatever that means.
If you told us that he was the actual pilgrim that stayed in the writer's house when he was a child, I would believe it.
Oh my god, he went to go find him to be in this.
Right as they're about to kill Ethan, Cody's like, "Why did you do this to us?" He's like, "To make you grateful, didn't I?"
Isn't this what you wished for? And you're like, fuck you!
Yeah.
Which is what Cody does, because then she brings down the hatchet on his head,
As she screams, "Happy Thanksgiving."
which is a great end line. And I think the final scene that we get is then the wishbone being released from his hand as he's been decapitated, and it cuts. There's no like closure. You don't know what happens to them afterwards.
I kind of love that though. I love
Yeah.
an open-ended, like up to interpretation where these supernatural people, like, what is the deal? Were they brought here by the wish? Are they zombie vampire pilgrims?
Patience is coming back.
Yeah. I like that open-endedness of it. It's like a short story.
Right, because if we're supposed to get that Ethan's been doing this for a while, that has to mean that there's more of them, right?
And there is, I think in the beginning credits, we get news clippings of families disappearing.
Oh, okay.
I
didn't
did not
see
pay
that.
that much attention to the
Right.
opening
Yeah.
credits.
Yeah, I was paying more attention to the actors making faces as their names came up. If you saw Shane, like, looks up and smiles and makes a face with his head in the
Oh,
plate.
yes,
Yeah.
at the end credits.
Patience was the only one.
She straight up makes no face and stays creepy.
Yeah.
She is committed.
Love her.
She's the one on set that everybody's like, this woman is not breaking character. Do you not find
Yeah.
this creepy?
Yeah. She went back to Noah's house and did the same thing. What did you guys think?
I love this movie.
Yeah, I love this movie too. It's so ridiculous, but like I don't know, it's really fun. It's you don't have a lot of Thanksgiving horror movies, so to find one that's actually fun and kind of like actually hits on some real topics for Thanksgiving too. So like
Yeah.
it addresses real issues while also kind of being an enjoyable horror movie.
And
I
it
don't know.
knows it's a stupid premise.
Yeah.
And it just has fun with it. Like, it's such a unique concept. I feel like if you had a pilgrim horror movie, it would be set in the 1600s. But they're like, okay, well, we're going to bring it to modern times, but we're not going to modernize the pilgrims at all. I like it.
Yeah.
I think it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I found this so fun. I love a good, just fun horror movie. You, again, wouldn't expect it because I feel like most Thanksgiving horrors that you see are not the best, or there's so few of them. Like, there's so many Christmas horrors,
Yeah.
but Thanksgiving, not so much. And for it to be, like, good and a unique story, like, I was impressed.
I don't want to say all the same things because I agree entirely with all you guys. I love, like you said, the topics too that I feel like it touches on. I'm telling you guys, the moment shit started to hit the fan at the end, I was like, oh yeah, I love this so much. So it's great. What do you guys rate it?
I'd give this like an 8.5.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'd give it an 8. I love it a lot.
Yeah, I was also going to give it an 8, just to
Yeah.
agree with everybody.
I give it a 9.
Ooh.
Yeah, you really
Alright.
loved this.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I was like throwing hands and just excited.
You
once
were
I saw
cracking
it.
up at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This Pilgrim movie, and I didn't know this since I was looking up fun facts, is part of a series called Into the Dark on Hulu, right?
Mhm.
Yeah,
This is-
it's all
It's technically an
holiday.
episode. It's
Yeah.
not even a movie, but
They release their episodes on like the actual holidays. That's pretty much every
They're all
episode's based on
holiday
a
themed.
holiday. Yeah.
I saw that people really hated the one that came before this. Something about Annie. It was like something Annie.
Uncanny
Uncanny
Annie.
Annie? I liked that one.
It was okay.
I think I like these movies a lot more than Travis. We're definitely going to be talking about the Valentine one
No,
this
I like
upcoming
some of them.
Valentine's Day.
The Christmas one's really good.
I like the New Year's one with the one girl that's like an influencer.
Have you watched all these?
I haven't watched all of them. I knew about them, and I knew that we were going to cover this one, so I think I'm going to go back and watch them now that we've done Pilgrim, because this one was really good.
The Into the Dark movie is kind of like, you know, in anthologies where it's like a director really gets to explore a weird idea that they have, and you're like, wow, this is an interesting concept. That's kind of how I feel about the whole Into the Dark things as a whole, except each episode is longer than, you know, a short in an anthology movie. I highly recommend watching more of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, we will. But do you want to talk about what scared Loki this week?
Sure. Did you notice anything that scared him about this movie?
Not with this movie, but I know that Loki hates intruders all day, every day. He doesn't realize that the neighbors live next door. He hears their keys from far away and is like, do not come into my house. So I think he wouldn't appreciate some random people living here.
No, he would definitely be with Cody and like, who are you?
But the moment he sees that they're feeding meat, I think he'd be enticed.
Might turn on us.
Yeah, it just can't be one of us. We can't be on the menu.
Do you want to tell us about it, Loki? All right, I'm sorry, kid. We're gonna have neighbors probably for the rest of our lives.
But one thing to look forward to is there's ham coming next week, so hopefully not sick ham like a couple weeks back.
No, I don't know if we even talked about that on the show.
We did, because we talked about you and him both pooping so much.
Oh yeah. I gave us both food poisoning from ham, so
Oh no.
yeah, no, me and Loki were not okay.
What's your least favorite scary movie pod? Jess and Travis, we really appreciate you guys being here today.
Do you want to tell the people where they can find you and follow you?
Well, our website is what's your least favorite scary movie.com. All of our episodes are uploaded there, as well as like movie reviews, drinking games, blog posts, stuff like that. On Facebook, we're just our name. Instagram, we're least favorite scary movie podcast. Twitter, we're least fave pod. Our email address is leastfavoriteScaryMovie@gmail.com. We have a TikTok. Couldn't tell you what our handle is. Just try some combination of things.
Eric will probably find it and link it in the show notes, if anything.
Yeah, I'll look for it.
I think that pretty much wraps things up for us here. As always, we hope you guys had a good time here with us. You can follow us pretty much anywhere at Shaken Not Scared Pod, except Twitter. Twitter is Shaken Scared Pod. You can send us an email at shakennotScaredPod@gmail.com.
You can support the show on Patreon. We'll name our next drink after you with mentions on our website, where the drink page will live forever. You can listen to us on all your favorite podcasting sites, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, Stitcher, a bunch of others. Give us a listen. Give us a follow. Throw Loki some ham treats, some turkey treats. Maybe not turkey.
He likes turkey.
Throw him some turkey jerky.
From the sounds of it, ham is the bad idea.
Yes.
Yeah.
Be sure to like, rate, review us, all that good stuff. Okay, thanks. Bye.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yep.
Bye.
All right. Bye.